Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Hari Om everybody. Welcome to the classes of Tattva-Bodhah. So last class, if I remember correctly, we were doing a small topic called Maya. If I can call it a small topic, right? So many people have asked the question, though I have told that don't ask anything about Maya. So I'll just explain it in short, okay? It'll not take much time. Maya means ignorance, not that. That which I understand is not what it is. So it's Maya. The simple formula here is when I see things which is not there, that is Maya. But when I go through those things which I see, which I feel, which I experience, which is completely personal by nature, and it looks very real to me, extremely real, and the agitations and stress points what comes from that particular experience is also very real. It is felt within the personality. So I experience the whole thing which is not there, and that is what is Maya. Comes from ignorance. So basically Maya is ignorance. Not understanding Brahman, the supreme reality, as Brahman. Now this is the concept. Okay, so if you understand the concept, it becomes easier for you. Understand it's a theory, and every theory will have loopholes. So there are n number of questions in these so-called gray areas where the intellect is not able to penetrate inside. And since our intellect is not available to penetrate into those areas, we have two choices: either have faith in what is being said and continue, or to try to penetrate it. Either way it is all right. And then there are a fleet of people, a fleet of theories given as a bridge which comes between the personality and that which cannot be penetrated by the intellect. Give you a simple example. When a person dies, the Atman hovers around for a little while and then it moves away to heaven or hell, depending on its punyas or papas. So if there is punyas, the Atman goes into heaven. If it is papa, the Atman goes into hell, says the Pandit, says the Pujari who comes to do the puja riti rivaj rituals in the house. And many a times I have personally heard that they say that if you don't do puja in this particular time, in this particular date, then chances are the Atman, that person will go into hell. But if you do the puja, if you do the Kriya Karam properly and everything else, then the self, the personality will go into heaven. Now this is not penetratable by the current intellect. We don't know what's going to happen after death. So it's been taken advantage of, and therefore people say that I know basically Vedanta energy is never destroyed. It only changes forms from potential to kinetic, kinetic to magnetic, magnetic to chemical. It changes form. Energies cannot be destroyed. Simple, right? So when the energy cannot be destroyed, 100% these energies of the personality will go somewhere else. Where it will go? It will not languish somewhere. It will go somewhere else. And that direction cannot be decided by people staying here. That cannot be decided. But these people take advantage of that fear of, I don't know, maybe it languishes. We don't know everything, right? So why take a chance? And in this why take a chance, we give up a lot of things. So nobody is there to question about why it is like this, why it is like that. Why should I do the puja? Puja is for whom? Is it for the self which has gone? Or is it for the people who are behind, for their satiation? So the intellect has to understand it. So Maya is something which cannot be penetrated, therefore it is called ignorance. So there is Brahman, the supreme reality. When I don't understand Brahman as Brahman, the supreme reality, the divinity, then there is a possibility of misunderstanding Brahman, that it is something else. When I understand there is a rope lying on the road, I see the rope, nothing happens. I just understand it's a rope and I move on. Nothing happens. There is no vikalpa, there is nothing in my head to agitate me. But when I misunderstand the rope, then there is a chance that misunderstanding can lead to either it is a crack on the road, again there is no fear, or it is a snake lying. And if there is a snake lying, you are seeing something which is not there and you are frightened of it, and then the world of the snake, oh my God, what will happen if it bites? You know, it's a true story as far as India is concerned. Last time I heard this news, around 40 people in India die of snake bites. Okay, this is true. Around 40% of people in India who are encountering snake bites, they die out of snake bites which are non-venomous. So the snake bit, oh my God, the snake bite, and the person dies when non-venomous snake. That fear, so it takes over. So Brahman, not understood as Brahman, we conjure a world like a magician. We bring out a world, and then the world is the reality what we see. This is the theory. Okay, so there is Brahman, not understanding Brahman as Brahman, that is the state of Maya. It is misunderstood as the world. And how does the world form? Very easy. This ignorance of Brahman, ignorance of Maya brings forth everything. So last verse, what we did, depending on Brahman, Maya exists. Verse number 24, I am reading. Depending on Brahman, Maya exists, which is of the three qualities of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Maya is made up of these three qualities, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. We have already explained it in detail about what Sattva is, Rajas is and Tamas is. So you can go to the previous lecture. Now we move on to the next verse. The five elements. So you see, from Brahman, we have gone to Maya. What is Maya? Made up of the three elements of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, three qualities, three gunas. From the three gunas, what has come? The five elements. From that, Tata Akashaha Sambhutaha Akashat Vayuhu Vagara Vagara. From that space was born. From space, air. From air, fire. from fire, water, from water, earth. As simple as that, right? So we'll start explaining from that Maya. From that horn over one's head, which is bleeding or having pus, the right side of the base of that horn, which is not there. Are you getting me? So from that, from Maya, from the ignorance of the reality is born the five elements, and not one. It's one on the ratio of space. First comes space, because only you can hear. Only one organ of ear is there. Therefore, sound. It carries sound. So space gives birth to air, where you can hear the sound as well as you can feel. Then you go to the sight, which you can see, fire. Then where you can taste and touch, water and earth. So this is in the form of subtlety. Therefore, everybody prays to an idol, because idol is made up of all the five elements, earth. Many people worship fire because fire is the first element which we see. Some people only play the shankar or the sound of azan, because that sound is the only thing that travels, most subtlest of the ear. So this concept of subtle, and when you use the word subtle and gross, just explain it a little bit. Subtle means when the grosser thing is pervaded by something other than it. It's so one quality of subtleness is all pervasiveness. So space pervades air, air pervades fire, because fire cannot exist without air. Fire pervades water, water pervades earth. So this is the way the pervasiveness goes. Okay. Now in this state of pervasiveness, many people say that actually when you say one thing is subtler than the other, it means it's pervasive and controlled. How can you bring in that control factor? Is when something is subtler, you can control the gross. Can the gross control the subtle? Not fully, but somewhere down the line, through your own experiences, you can see that it has an impact on the subtle. The gross aspects can also have a slight impact on the subtle. Okay, so many people say what you eat is what you think. So others, Vedanta says what you think is what you eat. Both are correct. The first part is absolutely correct. The second part has an impression on the first part. Yes, it may. I will give you a simple example which we saw, in one of our areas in Mumbai, long time back. I'm putting the clock around 30-35 years back. There is this bridge. There is a station called Matunga. So from this Matunga, from west to east to walk, there is a bridge. So it's a big bridge. So once upon a time when I was walking there, I saw that I could hear a lot of noises, because there is this whole locomotive shed where people were working a lot. So it's very noisy, So that was a hole in that tin shed. So I just put my head like this and saw what they were doing. Huge locomotion, compartments, the bogies of the trains, and they were being lifted. And something interesting, I saw that whole bogie was tied to a huge chain, absolutely huge and big chain, right? And that big chain was again connected to a medium chain, and the medium chain was connected to a smaller chain. And what these people were doing was they were pulling the smaller chain. When that small chain had a rotation of around 10 times, the medium chain would move to one rotation. And because the medium chain would move to one rotation, that big chain which cannot be held moved up a little bit. this proves that everything in our personality is connected. We don't know how, we don't know why. It is connected. So from the subtlety point of view, we say the subtle is all pervasiveness and it has got a little bit control. Everything can be controlled in between, in our own personality. This may not look like a content of the verse. Why I am giving this is because majority of people have this claim that, sir, Vedanta is a very difficult subject. I don't know how to approach it. I have done a lot of wrong things in my life. My mind is constantly agitated. So if I start studying now, the Bhagavad Gita or Tattva-Bodhah or whatever textbook it is, will I understand anything? And more or less, will some impact be created? Yes. At every moment of time, whatever effort you put, however minuscule it looks, however small it looks, it has an impact. One day at a time. There is this beautiful movie called Terry Fox, which we see. It's a true story where the person that boy did not have one leg, and still he decided to run all across Canada because it's a true story. I think so, 1984. He tried to run all over Canada because he said that when I went to the hospital to treat for cancer which I had in my legs, I saw small children at the age of 5, 6, 7 wearing with masks on, and because of the chemotherapy, nothing in the head, no hair in the head, and they had this beautiful smile. And some of the children were asked, what are you going to do the next birthday? And the children said, I would do this, I will go to this party, I'll get some balloons here and all those things. And the doctors used to say that the child is describing his next birthday, perhaps the next birthday is not going to come. Before that, the child expires. And we have not found yet medicine for cancer. So for cancer research all across the country, this boy ran. He ran all across. Okay, he started by running starting. So first step when he takes, a young child comes to him and says, how long you have to run? So he says around 3,500 kilometers. Then the boy looks at him and says, can you do it? So that boy, Terry Fox, says, yes, of course, 1 mile at a time. Never give up. As however subtle a thing is, all pervading reality, divinity, Brahman, I can't reach, don't say that. Each and every one has a capacity to do what we can to our own limited efforts, we can reach that. So that's why this concept. So from that, space was born, from space air, from air fire, from fire water, and from water earth. We move on. Now he explains the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic content, what all came out of it. It's a beautiful thing, what all came out of it, for a simple reason that there is no way for us to tell that yes, this happened. We have to have that idea of surrender. Now we can't analyze this. That is the reason the 3 verses I'm going to take together, because you can't analyze it. You just have to listen and say, acha, this is what happened. Because this is said by the great master Shankara. Adi Shankaracharya's textbook, this Tattva-Bodhah. So his penetration, his level is entirely different from what this current intellect is going on everywhere. Right? So we have to take it into consideration that he said it, accept it. If not accept it, understand it's a theory and move on. Okay, this is for Jignasus. Jignasus means people that, how is that possible? Why is that possible? Why is Brahman like this? Why is the snake looks like that? Why is rope looking like? That's called Jignasu. Questions upon questions which has nothing to do with your life. Nothing to do with your life. Theories upon theories are given to explain each theory. Every time there is a loophole, another theory is given. Every time there is a loophole, another theory. And people get involved in these theories only. So understand this is a theory. understand this is what may be there, may not be there, but move on. There are far important things to be done in life. Okay, so we'll just read this and you'll come to know what I'm talking about. Verse number 26. From the sattva aspect of the 5 elements, the sattvic aspect, from the sattvic aspect of space, hearing is born. From the sattvic aspect of air, skin, touch is born. From the sattvic aspect of fire, eyes, sight is born. From the sattvic aspect of water, tongue, taste is born. And from the sattvic aspect of earth, nose evolved, that is smell. Okay. Next, from the total sattvic aspect of these 5 elements, so these independently make the 5 Nyanindriyas. So the first one is makes 5 Nyanindriyas: eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. These are the windows to your world. We have done this before, right? So these are the windows to the world. Even if one person is not performing properly, your perception of the world changes. You don't have eyes, your perception changes. You can't taste things, your perception changes. You can't hear properly, your perception changes. So these are the windows to the world. Total sattvic aspect. From the total sattvic aspect, this is verse 26a. From the total sattvic aspect of these 5 elements, the inner instruments of mind, intellect, ego and memory are formed. So from the sattvic content, total sattva, the inner equipments form. We have only 2-3 equipments: mind, intellect, ego and chitta, memory. That's all. And from individual elements, these 5 Nyanindriyas, sense organs of perception is formed: eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. Now, when we move to this mind, intellect, 4 things are formed. So it's given faculty, mind. What is the function of mind? Indecision. Can't decide. Yesterday we had a children's class, and I'm telling you, it's the most satisfying class. Of all the classes, the children's classes around age 10 to 12, and the questions they come up with, it really fills me up. Beautiful question, So one girl, around 12 years old, she's been in this class and she's asked this lovely question. She said, "Sir, we say anger should not be controlled, greed should not be there, but all these, sir, are from the mind, right? And we have learned that mind cannot decide. Mind is full of emotions, mind is full," and she's actually mentioning all this, which even the adults don't do. Mind is full of emotions, mind is full of mood swings, mind is full of impulses, it is full of likes and dislikes. Now this is the quality of the mind. It doesn't take decisions, it just does what it likes to do. So isn't the mind's nature to be indecisive? Isn't the mind's nature that everybody's mind is like, correct, everybody's mind is like this. That's the nature of the mind. But to control this indecision, to control this faculty of emotions, there is nothing wrong with having emotions. Swami Ram Tirtha puts it beautifully. He says there's nothing wrong in having emotions, but why should there be an emotional drama? Oh my God, you know what happened in my life? Why? It's okay. Emotional drama don't create. Emotions is good. To control the emotions so that it can be put to good use, proper use, is given an intellect. So here it is written, mind is indecision, and indecision, the presiding deity is moon. Why moon? Because when the moon comes, full moon, everybody becomes moony. Everybody starts waxing and waning of the moon determines our mind. Literally, It determines that suddenly it is at the top, feeling really great, but next moment it is down. One episode is enough in life and the mind goes down to the dumps. Then suddenly it's like children, sometimes small children you hold. We are talking about around 2 years, 1 year, 2 year child. The child comes in, uncle, and you show a chocolate to the child. And the chocolate, and then you take the chocolate, it's you see the face of the child, so starts crying. And before it cries, you show the chocolate, and that's the way we are. We are children. Each and every episode, each and every circumstance treats us like a child. We cry in an instant, we laugh in an instant, completely like the waxing and waning of the moon. We are all moonies. So presiding deity. Now presiding deity, all this thing is given for a different reason. I'll explain to you. Then faculty is intellect, buddhi, decision making. Whatever the mind says, I want this, I want that, it decides, the intellect decides, is this what is required now? Or can I shelve it? Throughout the day's work, our day has certain hours, 8 hours of sleep. So 8 hours, 24 minus 8. Okay. Then 6 hours of eating, sometimes 8 hours. Okay. So make it 6 hours. Normal people eat for 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So make it 3 hours or something. So 3 hours eating and half an hour snack, evening snack. Everybody has with tea some evening snack. So half an hour. So make total 4 hours for the better thing. So out of 24, 4 hours goes in just eating. 20. Out of 20, 8 hours goes in sleeping. 12. From 12, then TV watching, gossiping, talking on the phone. It takes another 2.5 hours. Make it 3 hours, right? So from 12 to 3, 9. 9 hours of waking state you have. Now, in that 9 hours, and if you are not good with your time, it goes to 6 hours, 5 hours. In those waking period, there are X amount of things to be done. X amount of, I need to do this. There is a bifurcation of all the list. I am talking about my own head, okay? This subject to be studied, this need to be done, this need to be, there is a bifurcation. Out of that, what is immediate? What needs to be done and doesn't have a choice to be done? Then what can be taken afterwards? Then what can be postponed a little bit until I get the energy to do it after the 2 works. And then the last, I can do this a little while afterwards also. It's not that urgent. So when you bifurcate all this, it becomes easier. Intellect is what helps you in this bifurcation. Okay. So intellect has 2 jobs. One is to fix a higher goal in life. Each one of us, whether we like it or not, should have a goal in life, a purpose. It can be any purpose, doesn't matter. You don't need to, before dying, I need to find out what self-realization. It need not be that. I want to find out what Brahman is. Don't worry, you will find out anyway. Need not be that. It can be as mundane as possible. We used to run marathons and before the corona thing, and there was one person who was blind and he was also running a marathon. Okay, one Sardarji, and he was also running. And he had a helper, so the helper would run with him and he would carry the stick and he would run along. And somebody interviewed him, and I heard his interview because I was standing beside him. And he said that I have run already 42 marathons at that time. So we are talking about 21 kilometers, okay, half marathon. So I have run at least half marathon and 10 kilometers marathon. I want to complete 100 marathons. माइंड ने एक फिगर रख दिया 100 मैराथन, आई वांट टू रन 100. नाउ टू रन 100 he has to be fit till he runs 100. He is 42 marathons already, more to go. 58 marathons more to go. Now it's not that when that date comes of running a marathon, you suddenly get up, okay, I'll run. It will not happen. He has to practice every day to run those 52 marathons. Take an average of 5 marathons even a year perhaps, which is difficult, but if he does it, then it takes 10 years to complete 50. So for the next 10 to 15 years, he has to be fit. He doesn't have a choice to complete the 100. So it can be as mundane as anything. Whatever it, so you need to fix a goal in life and say, this is what I want to do. I want to educate everybody on what is a mind, what is an intellect, and stop their reliance on people who are selling spirituality as if they are hawkers. Self-reliance more than self-dependency. No dependency on anybody. Self-reliance on oneself. So that I need to do. How long? Maybe, I don't know, 130 years, 140 years, and for 140 years, 150 years, I need to be fit. If I need to be fit, I need to exercise every day. I need to eat. You have to have a goal in life. And the biggest problem quite a lot of people are facing, who I meet personally, is they don't have a goal. They are more based on current affairs. कोविड आया, कोविड आया, कोविड आया, कोविड आया, कोविड गया, कोविड गया, कोविड गया, फिर कोविड आया, कोविड आया. Only current, whatever is happening currently, they are only involved in that. So if it is good news, they are happy. If they are bad news, they are sad. That's all. There is no intellect. These people are like sitting in a pond, right above the Niagara Falls. There is a peaceful place. It looks like a pond. A person sitting in the boat, and nicely, so smoothly the water is going. He's just putting his hand like this and resting, enjoying the breeze, enjoying the view, enjoying the tree. And slowly the boat moves towards the falls. He doesn't even realize it, because current is so good. Current. And the current takes him to his fall. Quite a majority of people belong to this category. They don't have anywhere to go. There is no decision making. So the most important job of the intellect, one of the most important, there are two jobs, one of the most important is to fix a goal of where you are going in life. You don't have a goal, you waste your time. And you waste your time, you will die. Whole day sleeping, whole day watching TV, whole day gossiping about things which is nothing to do with your life. How is that going to help? At least use your time in a more productive way, and then have an entertainment also. Even that entertainment is an allowance by the intellect. But there has to be a goal that this is what I want to reach, and it has to be time bound. Within 3 months, I should achieve this. If that 3 months is not there, the 3 months will become 3 years, and 3 years will become 10 years. You will not even realize how life passed you by. Then all we can say is, oh my God, I'm getting old. Oh my God, I'm getting old. But you can't know what's happening. Make each day count. So first, most important thing for all of us, intellect has to fix a goal, any goal for that matter, and go for it. Second, when the intellect has fixed a goal and wants to go for it, the mind starts chirping. I think that is good. I think this I should do. I think that is also good. I think that person is good. And you get involved in everything which is not pertaining to your goal. Which is not pertaining to your goal. And when you get involved in everything, mind loves it because it enjoys this vagrance, moving around. The second job of the intellect is not to suppress the mind. The second job of the intellect is to take the mind, educate it, that if we reach this position, you and me will be happier. If you think happiness is there in vagrance, in running around wherever anybody is calling, imagine what happiness you will get. I guarantee you will get there, and you educate the mind. The intellect guides the mind to reach to a particular state of life. When the intellect guides the mind surrenders to the intellect's goal and says, yes, last time also you told if I come here I'll be happy. I am happier than what I was. The mind and the intellect come together. They join in, and when both of them come and do that particular job, the body has to follow. Body to the optimum capacity of itself, mind with its chaste emotions, intellect with its decisive thinking, precisive of how to go about it, completely precision of what to reach and how to. So all the three faculties of the body, mind and intellect functioning together, and ego, doership. Again, the god is Rudra, Brahma, so you forget that presiding gods. I'll tell you what it is. So, doership. When all the thing is being done, when the physical body is performing action, where the mind is interacting with the intellect to reach the higher, there is no doership in me saying, I am doing it. Why? Because whenever I comes in between, the work is spoiled. Because I wants rewards. I is mostly attracted and affected by results, good or bad. Therefore, body is functioning beautifully, mind is functioning beautifully, intellect is moving towards its acquired goal, and there is no ego, and chitta, memory, recollection of what all happened. So how I failed previously, how did I not get this result? Because previously I did some mistake. I don't want to repeat those mistakes. These recollections are not, this happened in my life, what is to be done. I am sitting and crying what happened 10 years back, 15 years back, who did to whom, what they did to me, what I did to them. None of those things. This recollection is, in the past I could not achieve a particular desired result because that was the process I followed. I should not follow the same process. Maybe I can change the process a little. With that help, so all these four capacities with the Nyanindriyas, eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, mind, intellect, ego, no doership, and the recollection of what all wrong I have done so that I do right now. You start functioning in the world beautifully without ego. Whatever action you do is perfection. Whatever action you do is perfection. That kind of an action where the ego is not involved, saying that look what I am doing, where the mind surrenders and the intellect fixes, that kind of an action is called an inspired action. Inspired action because you don't even register, you are doing it, you are so called in the zone. There have been cases, those who are in sports, they will understand much better. Any sports you have played, when you see a particular person, a batsman or a bowler or a footballer or a table tennis player or a tennis player or a badminton, any sports for that matter, some players, when you look at them, you feel they just want to get done the job and go. Don't enjoy it all. Doesn't matter if I lose. They throw the racket, they do this and they go away. Some people, some person, not people, these are very rare. When you see them playing, you see that they are in a zone of their own. They are not bothered about the results. Whether they are winning or losing, it really doesn't matter. They are completely involved in that game, completely. All faculties. That state is an inspired state where there is no ego. And since there is no ego, you are not attached to the results of good and bad. You put your hand like this and say, I don't know what I did. It happened. How beautiful that statement is. I don't know what I did. It happened. A person painting, he draws that photograph beautifully. He's in a zone. He just draws the whole thing. And then he stands back, looks and says, hey, this is a good photograph I drew here. And then I drew came. And then he signs down saying, my name. Swami Ram Tirtha beautifully points out. But when you were drawing, you were not there. When you were writing a poem, you were not there. After writing the poem, imagine when you are writing a poem, if anybody has written a poem, write a poem and say, wow, what beautiful 2 lines I have written. You can't write the 3rd line. As soon as your awareness comes of how good you are doing or bad you are doing, you can't. That is why the line is dance as nobody is watching. Why that line is given is, as soon as your awareness is there, oh my God, you are finished. You can't. You can't sing, you can't dance, you can't do anything. You can't play, you can't run, you can't do anything as soon as awareness comes. All this coalesce together, all the 4, is from the sattvic aspect. Now coming back to the presiding deity, moon, presiding deity of intellect is Brahma, gives you a direction, creation, ego, Rudra. Rudra is the ego which needs to be destroyed. So Rudra is one god which is the god of destruction. And memory, Vasudeva, maintenance. Vasudeva, Vishnu is a maintenance. All these gods are given so that you have a divine attitude towards whatever you do. Many people claim that we have one God, different religions. We have one God and we pray to that one God. And we are all happy. All of us pray to only that one God, whoever that God is. Other faculty gets up and says, we also have one God, therefore we are powerful. We pray only to that God. Only God in the world. The only God in the world. And look at you people, Hindus. Some people say 80 gods, some people say 84 crore gods. How many gods are there? What they consider Hinduism as a splinter of various gods. It has been done for a purpose. The ancient rishis and sages of this country, sitting in the pristine glory of the Himalayas, they have sat and they analyzed the human being, and they did a great job of it. They saw that it is very, very, very difficult to train this mind monkey to do things. Tell the mind to do it, it will run away. Go to this God, it will run away. So what they did is, instead of educating the monkey of going to a particular place and do this thing, because that will be a difficult job, wherever the monkey went, they planted a god. Wherever. So wherever the mind went, they planted a god there. You cannot do without seeing a god. I want to do mountaineering, sir. Very good. Please go. So I am going to the Himalayas, sir, and I am going to go to the trekking, and I am going to Mount Kailash Sarovar. Very good. Go. It's beautiful. And as soon as you go, you start seeing temples of Shiva, Devi Shakti on top of the Himalayas. So when you are a mountaineer, you bow there and go. Every aspect of your life is divinized. Whenever you are going anywhere, the parents will say, touch the God's feet there and go. Eat some curd, probiotic, a little bit before going, so that no problem in the stomach, and go. Everywhere. So where even a person who is a shopkeeper, who is actually doing business, early morning you go to his shop. When he opens, say he opens at around 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock you stand there. He will not talk to you. He or she will not talk to you. They will stay there. They praying. To whom? Lakshmi Mata. Why? Goddess of wealth. Wherever the thought went. So the thought went, I want to earn more wealth. Lakshmi Mata. I want to destroy my enemies. बहुत हो गया. How much to सहन कितना करना सर? How much to keep on tolerating all the nonsense what people are doing? Enough. I have stood up. Durga Mata. Parvati was also like that. Parvati was sitting and saying, you know what to do. This is my life. I don't know what to do. Ultimately she decided enough is enough. And she created two rupas. She created a Durga Rupa and a Kali Rupa. Both she sent in the world. So there are three personalities. Parvati, nicely domesticated person sitting in the house with husband and children. But when she is thrown out, when she is misjudged, when she is put in a corner and saying, you are just a lady, you can't do, then that Parvati has the strength to become Durga Mata and Kali Mata and killing the Asuras accordingly. Durga Mata killing Mahisasur and Kali Mata killing thousands of Asuras around, who went on Rakta Bija, who went on creating themselves again and again, but she killed everybody. So both these potentials are there in every lady. And you know, sometimes it's so irritating to see a lady just sit and cry and say, kya karu, mere saath ye hota hai. I feel like Parvati is sitting and crying. Now what do? Get up. This is the only country in the world which celebrates Devi Puja with a pomp. This is the only country in the world where Devi Puja is celebrated. Durga Puja, Navaratri, everything is celebrated. And this is the country in the world where majority of the time girl children are dying of feticide, of dowry deaths. Look at the contradiction. About time. So all these presiding duties, wherever so Durga Mata, the mind went towards, oh my God, what I should do. You become a Durga Mata and a Kali Mata when required towards that particular society. I want to study further. I don't want to get married. Every time I keep on getting married. By the time I'm 18, I'm hearing, your friend got married, that friend got married, she got married, he, अरे उन लोग को शादी कर रहे हैं, उन लोग को करने दो बाबा. Mom, please, I want to study. Let me study. Eventually I'll get married when I want to get married. When I'm 24, 25. Let me study now. थोड़ा पढ़ने तो दो. Saraswati. Mata Saraswati. So everywhere the goddesses were kept and gods were kept, wherever the mind goes. Even when you have a disease, boils come all over the body. Even now in the village, they say Mata Ai hai. Such a beautiful thing. See, Mata. Why this? Understand why it is. You are not making a mountain of a molehill. A disease has come. Mata Ai hai. Put some neem leaves around. Take bath in neem leaves. It will take around 7 days, 8 days, and Mata will go. So it has a divinized aspect of even seeing a disease. You see now what's happening. Everybody is getting killed by the viruses more out of fear rather than anything. Treat it as a disease. Yes, it's a disease. And what needs to be done? I need to take a vaccine. Take it. I need to take this. Take it. I need to take the medicine. I need to bring in my immune system to the best of the ability by eating the right things, exercising every day, and clear thinking. Do it. It's not a demon. It's a disease. Fight the disease. Haven't you fought the diseases before? Some cold, some cough, some back pain, shoulder pain, leg pain, head pain, some pain, and you have frozen shoulder, sometimes non-frozen shoulder. We have fought so much anyway throughout our life. Fight a little more. It's a disease, for God's sake. Fight it. Take prevention, take precaution, and keep on moving. Don't suffer so much. So when you divinize this, your attitude towards life changes. Even failures in your life. You don't sit and cry over, oh my God, I have failed, what to do? You think from the point of view of failure is a stepping stone for success. I failed now. Why I failed? Okay, there are no failures in life. Okay, there are no failures in life. There are only results. So this result, what I got now, is not commensurate to my effort. I am putting X amount of effort. I am getting only this much result. Not commensurate. No fault of the action. So what should I do? I'll change the process. I'll see whether it works that way and keep on changing the process until I hit a particular pattern to achieve the desired result. And once I achieve it, I know the method, it becomes easy. You are using your head at every given point of time. Change the process. There are no failures in life. There are only results. So see the result and change your process until you hit the right result. You can do all this with this study of intellect and mind. When people focus on Maya, when people focus on the theory of creation, when people focus, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do. How did the world begin? Did the Vasana come first or the Gunas? If the Vasanas come from where? Acha, Vasanas came from Brahman. So from where did the first Vasana come? What has that got to do with your life? Any of these theories, these theories are given only for you to understand a little bit, satiate your mind a little bit from running around and focus on what needs to be done now. There was a rishi and he was sitting by the side of the river bed, beach, and meditating, closing his eyes. And he had a wife, and the wife was in the house. He's sitting there, closed his eyes, meditation. Om, मैं परम ब्रह्म हूं, मैं आकाश बांधू, वायु बांधू, अग्नि बांधू, जल बांधू, पृथ्वी बांधू. So the lady came from behind and said, I think the rain is going to come because it's getting cloudy. So, apne ghar ka, our house hut, where we have a hut, the opening, there are 2-3 things which have opened, which have got away, So the rain water can come in. So jara chat jara repair kar dena. Put some dry leaves or something to repair it so that the water doesn't come. This man got so angry. He looked at the wife. You are disturbing me when I am meditating. What I am talking about Brahman. And she, घर को ये करो वो करो, do this for the house. Nonsense. He just looked like that angrily, then closed his eyes, sat again. मैं परम ब्रह्म हूं, मैं आत्म हूं, मैं आकाश बांधू, वायु बांधू, अग्नि बांधू, जल बांधू, पृथ्वी बांधू. The wife said, एक छत नहीं बांध सकते, तुम क्या क्या बांधोगे? Can't do simple things in the house, anywhere for that matter. Can't tackle simple problems. Don't dwell into how did the world get created. That state will also come. You don't worry. Where it will go? It will come. One step at a time. So what I need to do, sir, at present, whenever situations go wrong in my family, my husband, my wife, my children, my father, my mother, some relationship, there is always trouble, sir. I know I can cope up with strangers. That's easier because I don't need to see them. I can just shrug my shoulders and say, I don't want any relationship with you, and cut off. That I can do because they don't have any say in my life. They are all right even without me being in their life. But sir, I can't tackle my father. I can't tackle my mother. I can't tackle my daughter. I can't tackle my daughter-in-law. I can't tackle my son. I can't tackle. Your fights are there. Where the mind gets agitated, start analyzing. And what do you do to control the fight? The first thing, let go of the control that you have any control in the other person's life. Let go of that illusion of control. Let them go off and then watch from a distance what you can do to help them. Don't try to help anybody when they are not asking anything. They are not asking for help, don't give. If they are just crying, this happened, what to do, don't give any advice because they are not asking for it. Jesus Christ puts it very beautifully. He says, don't cast pearls before swines. Don't cast pearls before swines, lest they trample all over them and then turn back and rend you to pieces. They'll finish you off for giving the knowledge. Keep quiet and until asked. Give space for everyone to grow. The first step of spirituality, and if you learn this, everything else will be added on very easily. Give everybody their space to grow. And when you give others the space to grow, something miraculous will happen. You will grow. For the first time in your life, you are not playing any roles of a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a husband, a wife, child. You are not playing any roles. You are just being honest with yourself. So, oh, these are the roles I am playing. So what does this person want? What do I want in life? I have lived for everyone. I did what I could. What do I want from life? And the very fact you start asking this, now what should I do when I don't perform the roles? Who is this person? Your life takes a different turn. And once that turn is taken, once that mind is controlled, intellect becomes very clear, mind is no more agitated, then the intellect can penetrate into the so-called impenetrable factor, which is Brahman now. At present it is theory, but the more you study, it becomes very real and substantial. But to reach there, the intellect needs to be clear. For the intellect to be clear, ask questions, inquire with an attitude of surrender, and keep on questioning your own life of how it could be bettered. Once you move that, everything in life becomes really, really easy. Thank you very much. We'll continue next time. Oh.